Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner with his trainer Nacho Beristain. He's wearing white and weighing in officially at 164 pounds. His professional record, 50 victories, including
al 100, al 100, al 100, al 100, al 100 con Sinaloa, al 100 plebes.
The former middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros, el ex campeón del mundo, el Deseo Guerrero luchando de Culiacán.
¡Ah! ¡Ah! Con su pinche madre. ¡De Culiacán!
Yo te voy a levantar en el segundo, lo voy a levantar.
¿De dónde? De Culiacán.
Fighting out of the red corner with his trainer Eddie Reynoso, wearing blue with gold and weighing in officially at 164 pounds. His professional record, 48 victories, including 34 wins by knockout, with 1 defeat and 1 draw. He's a 3-time world champion, former middleweight champion of the world and current 2-time light middleweight world champion. Damas y caballeros, es la máquina de lucha legendaria de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México. Canelo
Alvarez. ¿A quién vas, Pancho?
Junior, vamos al Junior, al 100, al millón. Free El Chapo.
From the battle of the Z-Boys, Zamate and Zamora, to the Barrera Morales trilogy and so many
Que le está nervioso, hijo de la verga.
Mexican showdowns.
No fume, hijo de la chinga.
All featured fighters who have proven they belong. Chavez Jr. has not yet done that. He's going to have to reach for greatness tonight to prove it. Cabell Alvarez has proven he belongs.
¡Vámonos, plebe! ¡Vámonos!
If Chavez is the best version of himself.
Barrera and Morales drilled the fans 3 times. Will this be the first meeting between Canelo and Chavez, or the only meeting between Canelo and Chavez? The nature of the combat will probably determine that. Chavez Canelo throwing early, getting a right hand to the body of Chavez.
So far, Chavez boxing in the middle of the ring, as Nacho Beristain said, would be the strategy early. I don't know if that's the wisest thing for him, Roy.
I don't think this is a boxing in the middle of the ring, Max. He's kind of circling, but he's not really giving up a lot of ground. He's not going backwards. He's going around. He's circling as opposed to going back.
Canelo landed a solid jab. He's throwing hard shots. Chavez got in an uppercut.
Hard hook to the body from Chavez.
That's what you want to see.
You would think for Chavez to really impose himself in this fight, you have to pull Canelo and use his size and weight.
Canelo threw his own left hook to the body moments ago and landed it. Now right hand across the top. Canelo's conventional weaponry scoring early against Julio Cesar Chavez.
Well, Canelo is short. He's dialed in. He's throwing a good jab. Not often you see the shorter guy out-jab the taller guy. But right now he's doing a good job of out-jabbing Chavez Jr.
Hard to imagine Chavez winning a boxing skills match in the middle of the ring against Canelo, the sharper, more active, more accurate fighter.
Canelo seems to be making that statement right now. You can't box with me.
Good jab by Canelo.
So quick. Delivers it, snatching. Slow motion. Nothing's wasted. Right hand over the back for Canelo. Gotten off to a very good start in the fight.
Well, we expected this, Jim.
Chavez is a pressure fighter. Sometimes they take a couple rounds to really get going.
He's got to make sure he's not caught by nothing big that sends him to the floor early. That's the danger of fighting a guy as sharp as Canelo is.
Interesting there when they came together, Canelo used his leverage as the shorter fighter to push Chavez back.
3 minutes have gone by pretty fast. And so far, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has landed some punches, but nothing really significant. Canelo established his pattern. 31-16. It was a slow-paced first round. Let's see if it speeds up in round number 2.
So far, Chavez staying true to what Nacho Beristain, his trainer, his new trainer, said in the lead-up to the fight, that he wants him at a distance early. I don't know if that's wisest strategy, Roy. Canelo likes his opponent to come to him, so that's playing into his hands as Chavez does, but just because the guy's a fastball hitter doesn't mean if you're a fastball pitcher, you shouldn't throw it.
Well, this looks a lot like the early stages of Sergio Martinez against Julio Cesar Chavez. It's a rout in Canelo's favor. But you know what happened in that fight, where Chavez hung around long enough to suddenly make a statement in rounds 11 and 12 and almost knock Martinez out. So you can never completely count him out of the fight, but Canelo is having his way in the first 2 rounds so far.
Chavez, of course, has done his best work when he's thrown the hook to the body.
And we knew Canelo's going to start early and be a sharper guy early because he's been more active as of late, so you expected him to come out and have the advantage early.
Left hook lands for Chavez.
That's true, right?
Straight right hand for Chavez. Now he gets Canelo to the ropes.
And here is Chavez's fight.
It's where he goes to work.
Canelo also feels very comfortable countering in that position, but that's where Chavez does his best work.
A punch combination for Canelo and another good uppercut with the left hand as he steps inside.
Good right uppercut by Canelo. Canelo's doing a good job of laying those uppercuts when Chavez comes in with that head.
Chavez is walking right into those uppercuts.
Yes, he is.
And another couple of uppercuts for Canelo, followed by the jab. Chavez seems utterly confused when he stands in the center of the ring and tries to box with Canelo. He's got to get him to the ropes.
Got to move that head left and right. He can't leave it right there down the middle so that Canelo can hit him with those uppercuts.
Shows no inclination to do something to stop Canelo from landing his jab. Canelo's just stepping forward and popping with jabs and uppercuts and landing a lot of shots.
Canelo getting very confident now.
And it's Canelo controlling the middle of the ring and forcing Chavez along the perimeter. Certainly not a winning strategy for Chavez, you wouldn't think.
He's got to try to put Canelo's back against the ropes. What he was ultimately able to do against Martinez, and he landed his power shots there. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. here in Las Vegas. If Canelo wins the fight, then he'll be next.
And Canelo inflicted a lot of pain on Chavez that second round, mainly those uppercuts, also followed up by some good body shots.
Through the first 2 rounds, Canelo landed 22 power shots, 11 of them to the body of Chavez.
Canelo wants his opponent to come at him so he can use his combinations to counter. But that's also Chavez's best chance. That's why the matchup on paper was so good, because their strengths play into each other. Chavez is not a very sharp boxer, but he's a good, strong inside brawler, especially for a tall guy, and that's where his fight should be.
Most ringside experts shook their heads in amusement, reading quotes from Chavez's camp, and particularly from trainer Nacho Beristain, saying that he should stand up on his feet, box from the perimeter, use his length and height, and try to win a boxing match against Canelo. Most boxing experts thought either that is smoke, it couldn't possibly be true, or it's foolish. In the first couple rounds, he seems to be trying to execute that plan, and it is a one-way path to oblivion.
Yeah, right now it seems almost foolish.
Well, and then the thought was also that once he gets his bell rung, Chavez will go back to what he does, which is brawling, and he just got his bell rung. Let's see what happens.
punches with his gloves and then firing back, having everything his way. Midway through round 3.
Chavez blocks punches with his face and his body. Blood on Chavez's right eye.
No, it's just working. No blood yet, but there's a welt and a black eye starting to form.
Cabell Alvarez. He never overloads a punch, Roy. He's content to land at his base.
Very efficient, Joe. Blood at the nose now, man.
There's been no turning point.
Now we got to fight.
It's not a good shot by
Chavez fits in a couple of hard shots. Canelo's back to the ropes, and Canelo fights his way off the ropes with one shot, and goes down to the liver with a mean left hook.
As Chavez already given up his best chance to win, which is to jump on Canelo early and let him feel the size difference. Instead, he's allowed Canelo's imposed himself and his boxing skills.
When you're punching this sharp, it's not really much size difference involved.
A great first 3 rounds for Cabell Alvarez. And Alvarez has not yet sat down between rounds. He's still standing in his corner. Chavez is sitting on the stool now. Harold Letterman, how'd you score the first 3 rounds?
Okay, Jim, I got it 3-0, 30-27. Cabell Alvarez. I gotta tell you, Jim, this kid is a pretty boxer. Look at this. Hooks, jabs, he doubles punches, he triples punches. I mean, he's hitting them with everything. He's backing him up constantly. He's got him bleeding from the nose. Got him bleeding from the elbows. Hit them with uppercuts. What else can he do? He's fighting a very good fight. 3-0 Cabell Alvarez.
Look, no one thought that Chavez was on Alvarez's level, but his size advantage was supposed to make it competitive. And if he's not going to use his size advantage on the inside, it will not be a competitive fight. It has not been so far.
I'm wondering if it was a good idea to make weight. I'm wondering if it might not have been a better idea to pay a couple of $1 million to come in over 166. At least he might have disturbed some of Canelo's sleep. Uppercut after the left hook to the body. Chavez is putting punches together beautifully. Hard right hand upstairs. Harold Letterman described it so well. From moment to moment, it's been a one-sided fight so far.
Total mismatch so far. This is thus far not one of the great all-Mexican fights, but it's maybe one of the great all-Mexican beatdowns.
Good body shot.
Yep, that really hurt
Of the
Chavez.
opposition, you have to call it a great performance by Canelo, who is thoroughly under control and doing everything he wants to do.
And threw really hurt Chavez, I think, with a left hook to the body about 20 seconds ago.
What a crowd. This crowd is making about as much noise inside this arena as 90,000 people made at Wembley Stadium last week in London.
I mean, what Canelo, you look on his face right now and see, Roy, he doesn't respect Chavez.
No,
I
he
don't think Chavez has anything for him.
Has total confidence.
And Chavez has given him no reason to respect him. He has his game plan has not.
Chavez is averaging 21 punches thrown per round. Canelo is averaging 21 punches landed per round. Again, as Max Kellerman said, it's a mismatch.
And again, Chavez starts by circling on the outside of the ring.
Target practice.
Canelo Canelo doing whatever he wants.
Is it fair to say Canelo's sparring sessions may have been more taxing than this?
No, I don't think they are more taxing because you don't have an audience in the sparring sessions. But I mean, they could have been more difficult, but this crowd takes a lot out of you. People don't understand that. That's why some guys can perform in the gym. That's why you have things like gym fighters. These guys hands like another. But when you have a crowd to fight in front of, this crowd drains you. So no way that sparring is more taxing than this.
Tell you something else. Canelo claims that there's no extra animosity against Chavez. Just more intensity maybe because of the Mexican rivalry. But Chavez has said that he doesn't think that Canelo is best represented Mexican boxing. And the look on Canelo's face here, guys, looks to me like he's really enjoying handing out this punishment.
He's really putting a banging on Chavez right now.
And here, Chavez has an opportunity. Canelo is near the ropes. Pull him back to the ropes and throw punches. It's his only chance.
He seems to have bought into the notion that he can box with Canelo, and nothing could be further from the truth. Less than a minute to go in round number 5. Nothing has changed. It's been a punishing first 2 minutes of the round for Chavez Jr.
Important to remember that while Chavez was frittering away the prime of his career, Canelo has been in with not just the mega fights with Mayweather and Cotto, but tough fights against contenders you ordinarily wouldn't want to fight on your way up. Austin Trout, Erislandy Lara. Canelo stayed busy. He's treated his career very seriously, and you're seeing that here tonight.
This is only the fight since July 15. 16 out of 40. Those opponents were not Cabell Alvarez. You see the number for total punches landed at the bottom of the screen. Whether Canelo had an intention to come in here and embarrass Chavez Jr. or not, that's what's happening so far.
Although Chavez had those late rounds near heroics against Sergio Martinez, he wasn't getting pounded this consistently by power shots throughout by an aggressive fighter. He was the one chasing Martinez around.
And I don't think Martinez was as heavy a puncher as Cabell Alvarez.
The thing that you see in the beginning of every round tells you the whole story before the round starts, the posture. When Chavez backs up and circles, it means he's conceding already.
Just learned that between rounds, Kenny Bayless visited the corner of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and told Chavez and Nacho Beristain, quote, "You've got to show me something." In other words, Bayless is already of a mind that he's not going to let this continue indefinitely the way it's going right now.
Even right there, Chavez throws a 1-2, and he waits and looks and doesn't follow, doesn't attempt to impose his strength. And by the way, guys, maybe he's not physically stronger. Canelo has the leverage of the shorter man and looks very strong in that.
Well, Nacho Beristain urgently pleaded with Chavez Jr. between rounds to throw more punches, but he isn't doing it.
The only thing you don't like, I didn't like what I saw in between rounds, Jim, was that you never heard Chavez say anything back.
And he looked very discouraged.
And I hate when I don't hear my fighters talk back to me. I always ask them, by the way, how you feeling, what's wrong?
Here's where Chavez needs to be.
It's a very good piece of damage.
And he cannot allow Canelo's sharp counters, which are sure to come, to discourage him. He must stay right there. Not do what he just did and take those 2 steps back.
It looks as though Canelo, the counterpuncher, has invited Chavez into this position, hoping that he's going to throw some shots and give him a chance to fire back with a counter that would hurt him.
But that's okay. It may hasten Chavez's demise. It may lead to a knockout earlier than it would otherwise come. But it also gives Chavez his only chance to win.
Only chance.
Chavez begins to loosen up and throw a little bit. left and right to the body, both of them partially blocked by Canelo's elbow.
It shows you Chavez's mentality. Immediately takes 3 steps back, and it's in the middle of the ring again.
Can't do that.
This has become a showcase for Canelo Alvarez's outstanding skill set.
It's the same mistake we saw Canelo make against Floyd Mayweather. He went out and tried to box the boxer. You can't do that. Julio, you gotta fight, Julio. We got this one. Punches. What? Trying to do what he wanted. But that's not you. You have to build too much. You gotta fight him now. This is your round. Let's go, Julio. This is your team.
The last significant fight that Chavez had was against Fonfara, where he was knocked out in 9 rounds. That was in a heavier weight division. So the shot was the size difference.
Tiraron algo los güeyes, unos güeyes.
But if Chavez won't even try to impose the size,
Un huevo.
it's a mismatch.
Que tiraron un huevo.
For Chavez rally, and you saw how Canelo responded to it.
No sé.
And probably Chavez needs to come right back off of those rallies and come back with a rally of his own. That means he's not even trying to compete when he's not. You have to compete. So you gotta answer those type of punches back right there. If you're not answering those type of punches back, you're not competing. That's a good combination.
Somewhere there's an avid Chavez lover who's saying, no, wait until the middle of round 11. That's when it gets going.
Well, they're not necessarily wrong about that, but you're seeing the difference here between a guy who, yes, he's been a good fighter, Chavez, but let's be honest, there was most of the interest was generated by his father's name. And then he became a good fighter on top of that. Canelo Alvarez created his own career as a 15-year-old fighting grown men in Mexico, becoming a YouTube sensation and packing places in Mexico before coming here and fighting one of the top fighters and acquitting himself so well.
Chavez has to attack him right back right there if he wants to have a chance to win the fight. If he doesn't do that, he has no chance because Canelo is sharp, Canelo is dialed in, Canelo is going up and down. Canelo is fighting a very good fight here.
A lot of people thought it was a mistake for Canelo Alvarez to take the fight with Floyd Mayweather when he was clearly too young and too inexperienced to deal with the great fight. But as a piece of business, it turned out it gave him a big name here in the United States without his having fought a large number of fights here. It set him up to become what he is right now, the biggest draw in boxing. Punches. Both of those numbers are his high for the fight so far. However, Canelo landed 18 and 57, and a lot of the 18 were those sharp, hard power shots that you saw in the replay.
But Chavez had to reach for greatness tonight to compete with Canelo, and he hasn't done it, and maybe he hasn't been prepared in recent years given the way his career has gone to do it. He's going to need some late round thunder, like you mentioned, against Sergio Martinez to salvage anything here tonight, Jim. That's if he gets to the 11th or 12th round.
Might not have the good fortune of seeing Chavez tear his right knee up while falling to the canvas as Martinez did that night.
Now he's doing some good work, Chavez. When Canelo inevitably counters, what will Chavez do? Back up and give him room or stay on his chest?
He needs to stay on his chest, but he's not doing that.
Too cautious. Chavez needs to sell out.
Se lo agarra y que le pegue.
And the most disappointing thing tonight about Chavez's performance is that lack of resolve to get on Canelo's chest and stay there. He seems resigned to take the beating.
He proclaimed that he wanted the fight. He expressed great desire. He got himself into what looked like his best condition ever. He made weight, shocking a lot of ring critics,
Chewy,
including
it could have come
myself,
from the tree.
who didn't think that he would do that.
There's no way it could have come. If it would have come, we would have broken the branches.
But he's getting risked by a superior fighter with better skills.
Somebody threw out. Somebody threw it.
Canelo really teeing off right now.
¿Dónde cayó? Mom's car.
Good jab by Cabell Alvarez.
Easy money, and a lot of it. Round 9 of a scheduled 12. And so far, virtually every round has looked identical as Cabell Alvarez has used his multiple skills, his combination punching, his general ring command. Of course, Julio Cesar Chavez to fight the way he wants to fight. And he has stood in the center of the ring and embarrassed him over and over and over with repeated combinations, clean shots, landing upstairs and downstairs as he's doing right now.
Chavez has something dramatic up his sleeve, where this fight will be seen as an object lesson on wishful thinking on the part of the public, on essentially a fighter being able to perpetrate a fraud on the public.
Vayan allá atrás, córrele, vayan atrás.
His way to the fight.
Here comes Chavez. Sell out. The throw caution to the wind now. Only 4 rounds to go.
The way the great Mexican rivals like Cabell Alvarez and Chico Castillo earned their way to the fight, the trilogy with each other. The Raul Marquez and Vasquez earned their way to those spots. Canelo has earned his way here, and Chavez has largely traded on his name. And he needs to fight for his own name here, show us something in the last couple rounds.
Those were some of Chavez's best shots of the fight. And Canelo responded by answering back and driving him back into the center of the ring.
And you saw Canelo hit his own cut to say, as in to say, you're going to throw low, throw him low. He got to come anyway. He's fully confident at this point in the fight.
Uppercut is still there for Canelo whenever he wants to use it.
He's not allowed,
leans in.
He's not allowing Cesar Chavez to just sit there and pose right in front of him like other fighters do. See right there? Watch him throw uppercuts. Anytime he wants to make Cesar Chavez get out of there, he throws uppercuts right there in the middle. And Chavez is not comfortable with that shot being hit to the nose.
And also, Chavez here is doing some good little work.
Yep.
But he's so easily discouraged and driven back.
Because he's getting hit with hard shots right down the middle, be it the uppercut or the jab. Like that.
Of course you're going to get hit when you got Canelo on the ropes. Canelo wants you to put him on the ropes so he can counter. You have to know that going into the fight.
People say speed is power. Accuracy is power too. Canelo learned that against Floyd Mayweather. That if you get hit over and over in the mouth or the nose, you don't have to be getting hit hard to get tired of it, to not want it anymore, to back away from it. And Canelo is using his superior accuracy to continue making the point to Chavez. I can hit you. Difference in your score?
No. 90 to 81, 9 rounds to nothing, Cabell Alvarez. You know, Chip, at this point in time, when the 10th round, I honestly believe that they ought to let Canelo sit down in between rounds. You know, we're all human. I mean, the guy's got to be getting tired backing Chavez up for 9 rounds. You know, banging him, using his arms, using his legs. They definitely should let him sit down in that corner so at least he gets a minute rest in between rounds. But Cabell Alvarez doing everything you could do to win a fight. Jabs, hooks, combinations. Look at that. 3-4 shots to the body. I mean, he's doing it all. 9-0. Cabell Alvarez.
Boy, don't you suspect it's the fighter's choice to stand up between rounds?
That's exactly who it is. I think it's all Cabell Alvarez proving 2 points. That he's in shape, that he's ready for Triple G, and that he's definitely going to beat Chavez here tonight. So he's trying to give up all type of messages because he knows Triple G is sitting at ringside. So he's letting everybody know that he's in the best shape of his life and he's ready for whatever.
When you're sparring in training camp, Roy, yeah, he's very relaxed.
It's just easy work.
When you're sparring in training camp, do you stand up between rounds?
Yes, you do. They don't bring a stool in the ring. It takes up too much time.
I think he's showing Chavez that this is a sparring session for him.
Could be.
Oh, what an uppercut.
I don't care how bad the opposition is. The precision with which Canelo does what he does is enormously impressive.
This Cabell Alvarez will give anybody on the planet a real problem.
Well, anybody on the planet is seated right over there on the far side, and his name is Gennadievich Golovkin.
And given Golovkin's struggles in his last fight and how Canelo looks in this fight, if that fight can be made this year, Canelo's fortunes, his prospects of winning will be considered by many to be much greater than they would have been, 6 months or a year ago.
100% correct. So the timing of the fight is going to turn out to be exactly right, if in fact it takes place.
So much of boxing is perception and matchmaking. Triple G was just in with a really good fighter who's always been professional in Danny Jacobs. Strong, fast, great amateur background, determined to punch, loses everything. And here Canelo's in with a guy who really didn't show up to try to win.
Level of opposition, this is Cabell Alvarez.
Not often we see the short guy come out and out-jab the tall guy. Tonight, the short guy's jab dominated the fight.
When I say Chavez hasn't shown up to win, he may have had some kind of superficial game plan, but look what's happening. Is he thinking he's going to feint himself into position and maybe counter something?
Louis, give me an orange soda. Please.
That's not ever going to happen. His only chance is to go for broke, and he's unwilling to do it.
With his experience level, Max, I feel like he came in with a trainer who he thought had a perfect plan. Once he got in there and realized that the training plan didn't work, he doesn't know anything else to turn to.
How in the world could they have come up with that plan?
We all want to know that.
20,510 spectators here. Some of them now booing, and no doubt they are booing Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. for what they will see as a less than exemplary effort from a Mexican star fighter.
At this point, he could take pride in making the weight and going the distance.
That was a good body shot by Canelo.
Canelo long ago turned the fight into a rout. Only question in recent rounds has been, would Canelo pile up enough punishment that Kenny Bayless would have let him stop the fight? Or that the corner would say, hey, look, there's really no point. But of course, this is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. These are the two great Mexican fighters. He's almost honor bound to finish the fight.
These are the one great Mexican fighter.
Exactly. Now the crowd chants Canelo. Canelo. At this moment, there may be some who came here as Chavez fans who are chanting Canelo. Canelo. And now the boos begin again.
But Chavez fans, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 15 times, shame on me.
Oh, good body shot.
A buggy whip right to the body. Brutal punishment. Closing seconds of round number 11. Issue utterly beyond doubt.
1 round to go.
Touch gloves is sort of a feint of a hug to begin round 12. See if we see anything different at this stage.
I don't see how we could.
Impossible. Unless Canelo goes to sleep from boredom.
Well, Chavez would have to get lucky. And as Sugar Ray Leonard used to like to say, no such thing as luck in a boxing ring.
Never once during this fight did Cabell Alvarez sit down on a stool between rounds. He made a visible display of standing through every between rounds period. Here's the uppercut again.
That uppercut has been devastating all night long.
Little right hand for Chavez. Left hook easily blocked. Has not landed as many as 10 punches in any round in the fight so far. And in most rounds, Canelo could have named the numbers as to how many punches he wanted to land. Fighting at his usual measured pace. Fighting with his usual immaculate precision. Utterly dominating his opponent.
He made Chavez keep his hands at home for defense.
In boxing, skills pay the bills. Craft is king. And those people who understood this fight from the beginning and were serious about it have been on the same train all the way. There's no way Chavez can beat Canelo given the difference in the level of skill.
And you get out what you put in. You know, Andre Ward, Vasyl Lomachenko, Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez. You talk about the top of the sport. These guys are all extremely serious competitive athletes who respect themselves and respect the sport and give themselves the best chance to be great. And that is not what Chavez Jr. has done.
With no nonsense between fights, no headlines for things that take place outside the ring. That generally is what defines the top guys who Max Kellerman just named.
Kovalev, Chocolatito.
Chavez Jr. has been exactly the opposite. So at the end of the day, after years of discussion about these two big Mexican names, after the final fulfillment, what some thought would never happen, getting them into the ring together, it became an exhibition of all the skills that can enter out there. And Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has never had.
And in retrospect, it was always going to be an exhibition.
But you couldn't tell that to the nation of Mexico, which craved it, got it, and now can talk about it for 48 hours before the Canelo fans go on and celebrate forever. Reminiscent of the second fight between Oscar De La Hoya and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. when De La Hoya was able to dominate and embarrass Chavez Sr. Finally won over a certain percentage of Mexican fans who had resisted Oscar all those years. There aren't that many Mexican fans who resist Canelo, but those who have been ardently forever in the emotional Chavez camp have to to now admit reality about what the difference was between the two.
Yes, they do. And they won't have to see this again because he's totally dominated it and shut it down.
The notion of a rematch would be absurd. And the two fighters with a word for each other. Cabell Alvarez respectful to Nacho Beristain. The Mexican trainer with a great reputation who appeared to have constructed exactly the wrong fight plan for Chavez Jr. tonight. Well, the final scores have a ring of authenticity and let's go to Michael Buffer for the official
Ladies and gentlemen, all three judges had the same score, 120 to 108. All to the winner by unanimous decision. De Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, Saul Canelo
I think the other person more entertaining than this bullshit.
Who won? The other one lost?
The Pride of Guadalajara, a big winner over the native son of Culiacan. Chavez Jr. trying to explain to his father what was going on in there. Chavez Sr. with a blank expression. Now let's take a look at the final CompuBox numbers of the fight. Cabell Alvarez landing 157 more punches than Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., landing more punches in every round, landing at a 38% connect percentage, which is high, doubling the number of punches that Chavez threw, tripling the number of punches that Chavez landed. How many more ways can we say it? It's a one-sided wipeout. Power punches, nearly tripling Chavez Jr. in terms of the number of power punches thrown. Nearly doubling the number that he threw. And landing at a 43% connect percentage, which is going to win you most fights against any opposition. Jabs. Landing 6 times as many jabs as Chavez. Only more than twice as many. Landing at an extremely high percentage of 31%. Most people will never land 31% of their jabs in a fight.